everybody. Today we will be discussing the book The Naturals by Lynn. I loved this book so much. I saw this book on Goodreads and I saw that one of the people I followed liked it and gave it 5 stars. So I thought, oh, it seems interesting. I went and read the description, it sounded good. But I wasn't sure because normally I'm really hesitant in buying books I haven't really heard much of because I'm kind of nervous, maybe I won't like it. And so I go and buy the sample on my Kindle like I normally do, and it was alright. I was still unsure, but yet there was a part of me that was still intrigued to find out what happens. So I just take this crazy leap of faith and buy the book, and I loved it. I devoured it in 2 days. That's how good it was. I mean, I couldn't put it down. I had to literally force myself to get up and get food at some points because I could not put this book down. It's just amazing. And if you're wondering what this is about, it's about these kids and they have these weird kind of abilities in a way. They're really good at certain things. Like one could easily detect if you were telling a lie. The main character, Casey, I think might be Cassie. We're going to call her Casey. The main character, Casey, she can profile people just by what they're wearing, what they're doing, what environment they're in. Casey is recruited for the FBI. I think she's helping solving murder cases, which that's not the case at all, and she's hoping maybe she can find out who killed her mother. And then at the end of each chapter, almost, you get this one perspective, and it's written using the word you, so it makes you feel like you're looking through the eyes of this killer, and it's from the perspective of the killer, and you don't know who this killer is. And normally I'm really good at guessing what happens in books, but this, I couldn't even guess what it was. I was like, holy crap, what is going on here? Like, I did not know what to even think. Every prediction, I have a whole list of people who I thought were the murderer, and none of them were the people who I thought it was. And I was just totally shocked. I finished this around like 11 p.m. at night, and I just couldn't sleep the rest of the night because I was like, whoa, what did I just read? It was, if you are a big fan of CSI, Criminal Minds, even Castle, I highly recommend this book because you're going to love it. Anyways, let's start talking about the book. In the beginning, Casey is approached by this one guy, and he gives her this business card calling, hey, call this number. So Casey, just out of curiosity, calls this number. Be like, okay, let's see what's up here because you're saying you're something for the FBI. He calls and he's like, yeah, do you want to meet somewhere? So she's like, dude, this is kind of creepy. I'm just gonna say, let's meet somewhere where I know I won't be kidnapped. And the guy on the phone's like, oh, by the way, Casey, this isn't by your mother. I'm like, how does he know this? Like, is he now some stalker after you just asked someone to meet them somewhere? Then you say you know their mother is gone. Part of me wonders if this guy was just not some crazy kidnapper. But one thing, though, that was very, very, very annoying about Casey's character was the fact that she forgot how to breathe a lot of times. She wasn't be happening. She was like, and I let out the breath I didn't know I was holding. Or then, like, 5 pages later, she'd be like, I found myself struggling to breathe. I'm thinking, dude, if you're forgetting to breathe this much in life, you should probably go see a doctor. I'm just saying, like, I counted maybe 10 times in the book she said, and I let out the breath I didn't know I was holding. If you are forgetting to breathe, that is a serious problem. So they're touring this house because Casey agreed to go into this program called The Naturals that helps solve all these cases, and she's going through this house that she's going to live in, and she finds all these serial killers on the wall, and they're like, that's a little creepy. And then they say, oh, it's to remind Dean why he's here. And I'm like, why do you need a reminder of serial killers? Why? That they're out there and they're gonna find you. They're gonna find you. Like, seriously, why do we need reminders about serial killers? And why is this Dean need reminders? And I just never got Dean's character. I really didn't. I didn't really get a lot of the characters. Like, normally when I read the first book, I'm able to really grasp onto the personalities of these characters and find out why they are like they are. But this, I couldn't, because once I started thinking I figured them out, I really didn't. I didn't know what to think of most of them. Because Dean, we have him here. We meet him. He's kind of like mysterious and quiet. And then he starts opening up really quickly. And I was like, I thought he was the one that is like really mysterious. And so I didn't really feel like I could really grasp onto these characters like I would have liked to. There's this one girl in this book, she's like a walking encyclopedia. She can state off facts just randomly. And Casey here's a redhead, which I can very much relate to. And this girl says this fact. She's like, redheads need 20% more anesthetic and are more likely to wake up on the operating table. Well, that's encouraging to know, the fact that I'm a redhead. I don't like that. Thank you. I really needed to know that in life. One night, Casey's sleeping. She has these dreams a lot because she's the one who found out her mother was killed. She has these dreams constantly of her just reliving that, and that's what really tears her down in the book. Well, she wakes up one morning at 3 a.m. and decides, I can't sleep. I'm gonna go swimming in the pool. Okay, that's just a little weird. Who swims at 3 a.m. in the dark by yourself? Doesn't she know that rule? Always swim with a buddy. You don't go swimming by yourself, especially at night. And that's when she's swimming. She sees Dean. He's just casually outside. Nothing strange, he's just outside. Apparently none of the characters sleep because Michael caught her one night. Does anyone ever sleep in this house, or why do you all go to the pool when you can't sleep? Anyways, Dean finds her and he's like, this is actually one of these murder case scenarios. And he turns on the light and there's fake blood on the pavement and an etch of a body in the pool. Seriously, say you didn't know that and you walked out and you saw this fake blood painted. What would you think? Casey just takes this in okay. And then she goes back in the pool. I'm sorry, but once I knew that this was actually a reenactment of a real murder that happened, I probably would not go swimming again. You see, her ability as a profiler, she's able to picture herself as other people and figure them out. For example, she goes into Leah's brain. She kind of gets into her set of mind. She sees this scenario play out and she sees that Leah locks the door. Why does Leah lock the door? We didn't find that out in the book. I'm hoping that will come because I'm thinking, does she know something? That's not true because like I said, Leah could detect lies. So maybe there's someone in the house that's lying about who they are. Because like I said, this whole murder case is going on. So maybe the murderer's in the house. So then we find out that the killer targets redheads and he's going after Casey. In fact, he's only going for redheads. Then he starts dyeing the victim's hair red. He has something against redheads. I know we have no souls, but we are nice people. Redheads are very nice. At one point in the book, we learned that every killer has some kind of style, some mark they leave behind. And so I started to think in the book, this killer has to be the one that killed Casey's mother because all these other cases are coming up in present day of redheads being killed. And then the fact that they're mostly palm readers and they're all killed in dressing room scenarios kind of makes me think. But then I wonder, what happens if Casey's mother's death was staged and her mother didn't really die? Like I said, at the end of each chapter, there's this title and it's called You. And you read it, it's from the murderer's perspective, and it's piecing together this one case. So in the end, the light bulb dings and you find out why you were reading from the murderer's case, and it's just brilliant how this book was written. For a while, I actually thought Dean was a killer because he keeps Casey at this arm length and he avoids eye contact with her. And when they first met, he was really trying to recognize Casey. And the fact that his father was a serial killer, did his father the one that killed her mother? If her mother is dead? Because that could be totally possible. Because if his father killed her mother, then he would keep Casey at arm's length because he's probably ashamed about what happened. But then again, how would he know that was Casey's mother? And then I think maybe the killer is this guy Casey met randomly on the beach. So she's by the water, just chilling there, reading through these cases. This guy comes up and says, how are you? She's like, I'm good. And he's like, you live in that house over there, right? Why would you know she lives there? At one point that's actually brought up in the book. Maybe he is. As these clues come together of this case, and like I said, with the package and everything, and then reading from the killer's perspective, the killer has this all planned out. He didn't just go out and start killing people just randomly. They had it planned out. The fact that they're normally palm readers and they're redheads. So the case starts getting really serious here. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what is happening? Well, then Casey figures out someone in this house is the killer. So she calls up Lockie, the secret agent person that worked for Briggs. She calls up Lockie and Lockie says, get out of there. You gotta get out of there, get to the safe house, ask Dean to take you because he knows where it is. So Dean takes Casey, and so they're in the safe house and the door starts rattling. We're thinking, this is the killer. And then Michael comes through the door with a gun. I don't want to think he's the killer here, but I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why do you have a gun if they were in the safe and Dean was the only one who knew the combination? Why? I was crying because I'm Team Michael. I like Michael. I loved his character, and then I find out he's the killer here. I don't know what to think. I'm kind of panicking here because I don't know what's going on. But then I think Michael couldn't have killed her mom though, because if he is the same age as Casey or around the same age, he would have been 12. Not making sense. Why would Michael want to kill Casey? Because he never seemed surprised. Even when Casey got that gift with the red hair, he kind of like, oh, okay, and then walked away. Like, wouldn't you be a little alarmed if, oh my God, some guy knows where we live and is sending us all these clues that connect to a murder case? Wouldn't you be a little concerned? But then wouldn't lead a detective if he was lying or not? I don't know. This is not making sense, and I was very confused at this point in the book because, like I said, I didn't know what to think. Everything is happening at once. I have, like I said, a whole list of people who I thought could have been the killer, and none of them were on here. Turns out, we find out the killer is Lockie, because apparently she is actually Casey's aunt, because apparently they came from like abusive households. So then when her mother escaped, she promised to come back for Lockie, and that didn't happen. Just that anger built up in Lockie, and so when she went out into the world, she was set on revenge, and she actually planned to kill her sister. Someone else beat her to it, so that's why she started killing off people who were redheads and palm readers, because it kind of was like she was destroying her sister. I felt bad for Lockie in some way, because I think she just always wanted that love. She never had that love, and that's why she wanted Casey so much, because she thought if she could manipulate Casey to love her, then she'd be alright. And seeing Casey think, well, she's part of my family, so she has to love me. I think Lockie just always wanted that love, and she just did not know how to get it. And then it kind of just ends right there, and that's why I didn't like, because I felt like the plot could have been carried on a little bit more. Okay, in this book we'll solve one case, in book 2 we'll solve another case, in book 3, like, this could be a series that could possibly lead on to 6 or 7 books. Depends on how much the author writes it. But I really like this series, and I highly recommend it. Thank you for watching this. Bye!